talk to us a little bit about what chronic stress really looks like, because I think a lot of women are in it, but they just don't know that they're in it. And they just feel like the next promotion is going to make me feel better, or more money is going to fix the problems, or, oh, only if I got a new manager, everything could be better, right? So tell us a little bit about what that time looked like for you, and how did you kind of figure out that something was amiss?
So for chronic stress for me, and I imagine it's different personally for everybody, but for me, I knew I was stressed because of my emotions and how I was feeling, right? Kind of my heart racing all the time. And when things got tough, I felt like I couldn't control those emotions and how I was feeling. But for me, it was a physical thing where I started to feel like I was choking on my food or whatnot. And I started to fear eating as much, especially in public. And it really became a problem for me physically. And I have 2 young kids, and I didn't want them to see me like that. And I knew I needed, if not for myself, at least for them to see, their mother in strength and be able to really identify how I could move forward in, I don't know if handling chronic stress is the right way, but understanding how to deal with it and turn it into something that I could use and amplify my voice to teach others how they can also change it. So I guess as far as, people being in it and not realizing it, just taking moments throughout the day to pause and reflect and going through a body scan, right? Why am I feeling this way? Is there resistance? Do I feel strong enough to handle this decision? If not, why? So just those micro mindfulness moments throughout the day, I think for me, that was the biggest piece, is really just reflecting on when I was feeling like that, and why I was feeling like that.
And it's like going inwards rather than feeling that the world's doing it too,
Right.
or feeling like you're stuck somewhere. Just taking a few minutes to yourself and like really asking, like, how am I feeling today? Like a check-in,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, because especially when it comes to moms, nobody asks them that.
Yes, right. And we feel, it's an internalized perfectionism, but we feel like we have to be perfect in our careers. And then at home as a mom or as a friend or as a wife or as a daughter. And, I'm sure gentlemen can also feel this way too, but just speaking from my own experiences, I certainly felt that internalized perfectionism, day in and day out.
Yeah, that really resonates, because I know this is a big problem that most highly successful professionals have, and women in general, because so much workload falls on them. So now, tell us a little bit about your TEDx. You gave a TEDx on, don't succeed in a career of your nightmares. How did that come about to be, and what was the mission around it? And just what did you learn in the journey? Because I've given a TEDx too, and it's a journey to like really find your own story as well. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So for my personal journey, and then also witnessing, my colleagues' journey in their careers, I noticed a lot of people were starting to feel trapped in what seemed to be an unfulfilling role. And usually the reasoning behind that, specifically my reason, was because we almost felt this obligation to whomever, whether it was society, whether it was to parents if they paid for your college education, whether it was to your children or your husband or whomever you lived with, as far as financially too, staying in something that you started with. And I noticed that there was a difference between external success and also internal fulfillment. And from what I shared on the TEDx stage is that just because you start in an area doesn't mean you have to finish in that area as well. If you need to pivot and understand, okay, again, reflect, where am I successful and I'm thriving in this? Where am I successful but don't really even enjoy it? Where do I not have maybe the expertise yet and I want to learn more about it? Reflect in those areas and say, let me do more of what I'm successful in and thriving in. Let me do more of what I might not be an expert in and want to learn more of. And be okay and give yourself the opportunity to walk away from, to delegate those areas where you are successful but don't care to pursue more of, or where you just have responsibilities day to day and still don't care to pursue more of. I think it's just allowing yourself to pivot. And again, it's those moments of reflection that allow you to do that. And again, those micro mindfulness moments along the way.